joined by people who are with us for the day or couldn't get here last night and so have come for this morning. Thank you for getting here for time for this first session. Good News Broadcasting Association, GNBA, is what we're all about, and we'll drip feed information about what we are and what we do as we go along. But we're basically sponsoring a Bible conference. The Bible is the most important thing in the message of Christ that we're about as an organisation. One of the ways in which we communicate on radio on a loop of programs is through Radio Eden, who are making a live feed of what we're doing in these meetings. And I want to introduce Michael, who looks after this. Michael is back there in a little kind of makeshift studio with a satellite dish and a few other technical things like that, sending this out to the world. And last year we got report backs from Russia and Moldova and the Philippines and all sorts of places where they were listening in to what we were listening to when we were here. Michael, are you able to and free to come up, and we'll introduce Michael, because if you at any point want to be on air across the world giving your story and your testimony, Michael is up for that as well. And so you can just let them know at the info desk you'd like to be on radio, and Michael will oblige. He's a very obliging kind of guy, is Michael. And he's technically a genius as well, you know. I embarrass him by saying things like that. But just tell us a little bit about Radio Eden so we're aware of what's actually going to be happening.
Okay. First of all, very good morning to you. Hope you have a good day here. Right at the back you can see a small display, so some basic information on the display. Just to explain a little bit, if you look, probably you look all this way, not that way, but if you were to look down, right at the bottom you see a picture with lots and lots of houses, and that's actually a picture of Cairo in Egypt. And if you look at all the white dots you see on this picture, like when you go out next time before you go for food, just don't think about food, just think about Cairo for a moment. And then look at all the little the white dots, and they're all satellite dishes. And the picture's been taken, I think, from some elevation over Cairo, possibly the pyramids, I don't know, but this is what the Middle East is like. So people, they love satellite media, and they don't necessarily get the internet. Satellite you get anywhere. And so they tune in, not necessarily to Radio Eden, but to all sorts of programs. But the challenge, or the opportunity for us, as here at Good News Broadcasting Association at Radio Eden, is that people accidentally, come across this channel, hear the gospel, maybe for the first time, maybe even in Mecca, where missionaries are going to get killed as soon as they enter the district. There's one little signpost as well. There used to be a signpost on the motorway in Saudi Arabia, which used to say, infidels off here. So you had to turn off the motorway, not to get into this district. They've changed it, and it's now non-Muslims. You have to turn off the motorway, turn off the junction. Now satellite radio gets right in there. And they can stop the internet, they can't stop satellite radio, or satellite media as such. So there's a great opportunity there. One of many great opportunities. I mean, FM radio, other radios, they reach different audiences, and they're necessary as well. Now at the moment, just to give you an insight, it's 4 satellites we are going on at the moment. One is Eurobird 9, which covers Europe, the Middle East, North Africa. Then we've got Intelsat 20. Intelsat 20 covers Eastern Europe, all of the sort of the Russian-speaking world, and then it goes right into India, all the way up to Japan, and bits of Australia as well. Then we've got Amos 5. Amos 5 covers all of Africa, and I think the last one is Galaxy 19, which covers North America, Central America, those areas. The only areas which are not covered are South America and New Zealand. So apologies to all New Zealanders and South Americans. But we also stream out via the internet, so there's a possibility for people to pick it up via the internet. So that's a little bit about Radio Eden. About GNBA and Radio Eden. GNBA is, I think it's about 1 to 2 hours every day.
1 to 12 hours?
1 to 2.
Or 1 to 2.
Now, probably 24 hours, but for these days. But it's about sort of 1 to 2 hours every day, so GNBA, Derek is sort of permeating the world, and all the other speakers via GNBA, they get out there via those programs as well. So it's a challenge, and it's great, and grateful. It's been running for 4 or 5 years now. So you know a little bit about what's going on in the back room. So it's not just some strange guy sitting there with some headphones, but there's actually something happening as well. Right, that's it. Enjoy the conference.
Do get to know Michael. He'll be at the dining table, and of course you'll always see him hovering around there. And as I've said, if you would like to be involved, well, you can certainly get your story out there and be a witness to the world in that way too. And as I say, we will get feedback on what is happening in a few days' time. The thing about satellite is you can do that fairly easily. You don't know the individual person, but you know the countries because of that. Just a couple of details about the conference generally for those who have joined us since. If there is a medical need, then we're covered for that. We have a husband and wife couple who are GPs who are going to look after you if that happens. It's never happened so far, but we are ready for that. So it must be interesting, I imagine, being a husband and wife and you're both GPs at the dinner table at night, don't you think? You know, and Jeff and Emma, and Emma says to Jeff, how did it go today then in the surgery for you? And Jeff says, I had this very strange case. I had this person come in who told me that they've seen a 6-foot beetle. Have I got a problem? And so Emma says, what did you say? And Jeff says, no, I just said it's a nasty bug that's going around. So, they won't get any better, the jokes, honestly, and so on. But that will be the last one for this particular session. We also have a couple of people who will focus for prayer as well. There are lots of other people who will be willing to pray for us. But Stephen, who will come up and round off things at the end of things here, is our chairman, and along with Jilly. If you want prayer, then they're the people who will kind of head that up. Go to them at any time, night or day, you know, not night, but you can at any other time. And they're very sensitive in those areas. You'll feel secure with them and you'll get to love them, and they'll certainly pray for you in any situation that you want. So do please avail yourself of that. And great to have the worship team back. But before that, we have our business manager for just for this weekend, really. I think he intends to come into the office to round off, but he retires over this time. But he's not in retirement mode just yet. So Chalmers is going to come up and introduce 1 or 2 resources and read God's word for us.
Thank you, Derek. I heard Derek saying last night, by the time you're finished this morning, I expect to be a bestseller. So you can guess what's coming up now. Visible Glory is Derek's latest book. And on the back it says, our lives revealing the radiant attractiveness of Christ. How the light of Christ can shine through us, and the sense of wonder can illuminate our imagination and ignite a passion for the Lord as we capture a glimpse of Jesus Christ. And now, of course, they always put good stuff on the back of a book, don't they? And hopefully you can read it and be inspired. I can say, having proofread it twice, not just once, and yet there's still a mistake in there, that it is a good read and highly recommended. The explanation is I proofread it, sent it off to circulate around the office. When it came back, I saved the copy, not realising it had reverted to the unproofread version. So I had to start again. But I'll tell you what I'll do. We've got a good stock of these at the back. The first person who can spot my proofreading error can get their copy free. So you'll get a refund. Only the first person. Okay. Apart from Visible Glory, which is highly recommended, we have others which are successful titles. Authentic Christianity, 30 Days of Readings in 1 John, again recommended, and also Discovering Great Secrets, based on the series that Derek gave. So these are good titles, well worthwhile. There is an advantage to buying Visible Glory, the latest one. You will save a penny. The others are £8. This is £7.99. To be a little more serious, it's nice when we come in on a Monday to the office and we find there's a stack of phone messages being left. And certain series generate more feedback than others. And one which created a lot of requests for copies of talks was a series on Psalms. That's available on disc. It's Inspirational is the title for it, and that has generated a lot of blessing to people, our radio listeners, so it is recommended as well. When Derek arrived, one of my first tasks 10 years ago was to duplicate CDs of a set of 10 talks on Revelation, the book of Revelation. This isn't a 10-year-old version of the talk series. It's a brand up-to-date reinterpretation of the book. A very popular series again. 10 CDs in that set for £18 odd, so you're not paying a lot for a CD. It is recommended. On the back you will find a range of CD sets. They're all good, worthwhile buying. We have more stocks of some than others. In one case, we only last night had 2 sets, so they may not even be there now. We do have CD sets from last year's conference if you want to find out if you weren't here or you'd like to be reminded about them. And this year we have our CD set from this conference, not available I'm afraid until the end of the conference for obvious reasons. Kate's on top of things. She came to me this morning and said, have you got a case for the 2013 set? Because I'm one short. So yes, Kate, here it is. And you can have it back in a minute. One thing that's slightly different is, as well as last year we offered CD sets or a whole set of the conference talks on one CD in MP3. This year we've gone one step further in that if you wish, you can have it all on a little memory stick. So it's very convenient if you have friends far and wide who you'd like to send a copy of the complete conference set of talks to. This is an easy and cheap way of doing it. So that will be £10. If you want just our branded memory stick with 4 gig of hard drive space on it, then you can have that for £5. Especially imported from China last month. But with a lifetime guarantee. So, okay, can we just turn to the scriptures then? And it's Isaiah chapter 6 we're reading from. And the first 8 verses. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphs, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. And they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried, I'm ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. And my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the seraphs flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched my mouth and said, "See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for." Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, send me."
Okay, would you like to stand? We're going to sing 2 songs.